everyone and welcome to a new YouTube video. My name is Andrew NFX and this is Trading NFX YouTube channel. For those who have been watching me for quite a while or following me on social media, you may know that I was a $5.5 million funded. I did talk a lot about this on Words of Wisdom podcast. If you haven't checked it out, you can go over to this channel and then you'll see the whole podcast basically. But to give you a summary of it, I was up to $5.5 million in prop firm funding, which is, I think I was one of the top traders with that amount of capital. There aren't many at that level yet, but unfortunately, I did encounter some issues while I was trying to scale even further, so I got banned on some prop firms. Banned is a hard word. I wasn't really banned, I was more denied, let's say, capital. That means passing, let's say, a 500K challenge and then getting denied because I was more aggressive while taking the challenge, because that's how I usually take challenges. So in this video, I want to talk about how I managed to get to $5.5 million in capital and how you can also reach that point if you put the hard work in. Now, first thing I did was actually focus on discipline and consistency. So that comes with trading, because in trading there's multiple levels you can hit. But first you need to become a profitable trader, and you also need to become a disciplined risk taker. So what that means is you need to have discipline every single day while you are watching the charts. So let's say you want to start trading Euro USD. You need to apply discipline and consistency in day-to-day activities. So what that means is every single day you need to watch Euro USD, that specific pair, for a specific time frame. So if you're trading London and New York, you need to watch Euro USD every single day during London and New York session, so you can start noticing patterns. You're gonna start to notice how the pair moves, when the volatility is coming in, what confirmation it needs, what's the average pip move, what's the average risk reward you can get, and so on. People underestimate the value of studying one single pair, and they tend to focus on a lot of pairs and then basically lose that discipline and consistency. Because once you do the same thing every single day, I guarantee in 6 to 12 months, you're gonna become a very profitable trader on that specific pair. So for me, when I first started trading, I only focused on gold. So I traded gold for 2 years, every single day, every single session. I was watching gold, I was trading it, and I made a lot of money. But then I decided to add more pairs. So now I'm mainly USD, GBP/USD, and a gold trader. 3 pairs is more than enough to make a lot of money in trading. But I applied the discipline and consistency when studying every single pair. So I was studying every single pair, basically London session, New York session, watching the patterns, trading it live. Backtesting doesn't really work. You need to do the hard work, which is the actual live testing. So put some money in a broker account. If you want to know what brokers I use, you can check out the links in the description. I trade with 2 brokers right now, which is basically I trade with 2 brokers right now, one for my personal capital and one also for my personal capital, but for building a track record. Number 2 that's important in becoming a very successful trader is having the right strategy and the right concepts to trade. Nowadays there's so much free information all the way on YouTube and all of that, but I highly suggest you find a profitable mentor that you want to replicate. If you want to become a very successful prop firm trader, then start looking for a successful prop trader, and then basically take his education, try to replicate what he does, and I guarantee again you're gonna be successful. Now, if you want to learn from me, not saying you should, but I do have real results. I have a lot of interviews from prop firms, podcasts, and all of that. If you want to learn how I trade, just go to tradingnfx.com. The link is in the description. You can join the course. The mentorship, it just got launched, and then basically you're gonna learn exactly how I trade, what concepts I use, and how you can also create your own trading plan based on your risk parameters, based on your personality, and so on. So check that out if you want to. If not, I also have a free Telegram group where you can join, where I'll share basically some of my outlooks for the week. That way you can also make some profits. Now, moving on, the next step after you've basically mastered psychology, you've become a very disciplined trader, and you also have a strategy that works, that's profitable. And a little point to this, my most profitable months were actually when I had a risk reward of 1 to 1.6, 1.7, and a win rate around 55 to 60%. So you can see risk reward is very good, but you don't necessarily have to have exactly 2R or more. You just have to have a pretty good win rate. You have to stick to your rules, your trade management rules, and so on, and you're gonna become profitable. So I'm a live example that I don't consider myself a very good trader, but I have my own systems, I have my own concepts, my own strategy, and a very good risk management that I use in order to become profitable. So even in my worst month can become a very good month if I use the proper risk management. Now, after you have all of this and you can track your results, you can improve yourself, the next step is of course Capit. Now, this is where prop firms are a very good option that I use to scale basically from, I think I was around 600K in funding capital all the way to 5.5 million in less than 3 months. How I did it was a very simple process that I'm gonna present to you right now. The process was basically to think of prop firms as a business. What that means is I'm investing some money in order to get capital. Basically, my only goal is to gain a funded account that I can use as an asset to produce money. So our focus is that. Now, for most people, when they learn about funding companies and they have, let's say, $1,000, they use that $1,000 to buy, let's say, 200K account because it's such a large capital, it's life-changing. And then they start thinking about how they're gonna make profit on that live account. 2-3% is more than enough to make a good living from trading and so on. All of these thoughts are going inside their mind, and basically that's what sets them up to failure, right? But instead of thinking of it that way, I decided to think differently. So instead of purchasing one 200K account, you can purchase 4 50K accounts or even 8 25K accounts. So let's say you go for 8 25K accounts that you trade individually, right? And your only goal is to pass as many as possible in order to get that live funded account that you can use as an asset to produce money to reinvest into your business. So from 8 accounts, if you use the risk management that I present when taking challenges, which is a higher risk, like 2, 3, even 4%, even 4.5%, you only need like 2 or 3 profitable trades in order to pass phase 1 and phase 2. So that's really not that hard to get. If you have a good strategy, if you're very certain about a move and you wait for a move and you just use the high risk on that trade, I guarantee you're gonna pass very fast. So let's say from 8 accounts you pass, let's say 3 accounts. I think it's more than enough. You don't pass half, you lose 5 accounts, but you pass 3 accounts. You now have 75K in capital basically. So instead of throwing your money on 1 account, you threw your money in 8 accounts and you passed 3 or 2, doesn't really matter. But let's say for this example, let's take 3 funded accounts. So now you have 3 25K funded accounts that you throw into a different risk portfolio. So for the challenge, you're using 3, 4, 5% risk, pass it. Now on the live account, you're gonna use 0.25 or even 0.5% risk, and your only aim is to make 1% for every payout. So now most prop firms have their payouts every 2 weeks. So let's say your goal is to make 1% in 2 weeks. I mean, if you have the base knowledge, even if you use Fibonacci or support resistance, you should be able to basically secure 1%. Even if you're using 0.25% risk, that's like 4R. If you use 0.5% and you have a very high win rate, you go for a 1-to-1, that's 2 wins, it's 2R. It can be that hard, right? Any trader that wants to become successful, they need to be able to achieve at least 1% in 2 weeks. So let's say you achieve 1% in the first 2 weeks, which is basically $750. Minus 20%, that's like, let's say $500 or $550, not very good at math, $550, and then you get those fees back. So let's say an account was, we said we bought 8, so around 125, so you get $375 back, plus let's say 700. So you basically get your whole investment back within 2 weeks of passing. You get 1K back, and now you have the assets, which are very important. If my math is wrong, please correct me in the comments, but I guess you do understand what I'm saying. So now you have 3 to 25K accounts and you have your whole investment back. Now you use the same $1,000 to buy 8 more 25K accounts, which you can have for a very good price. You start again, you use the live accounts, you still use them to make 1% every 2 weeks, which is 1 or 2 trades. So if you make that within the first 2 days, you can just leave the account there until the payout. So now 8 accounts, 8 new challenges. Your goal is to focus on challenges in order to attract more capital, which you can throw in the low risk. Now in the low risk portfolio, which is the fund account, you can use a trade copier to make it easier, or you can trade them individually. I just like to trade them individually because I want to go for maybe 1.5% or 2% or even 0.5%. So I like to just have wins and leave it there. So if an account goes into drawdown, only one goes on the whole portfolio. But let's say you're just copying trades to make it easier. 8 new accounts, again, you pass 3, which is 75K more in live capital, which you throw again in the live account. So now you have, what is that? You have $150,000 basically in funded accounts. 1% of that is 1.5K minus 20% around, let's say 1.2K. Again, 2 weeks, you get your whole money back from that and the refund and so on. So you keep investing the money in order to attract more capital, and you go on and you increase the account challenges and so on until basically reach, let's say 300,000, 500K in 1 week. That is the exact blueprint that I used to go to 5.5 million. Just purchased tons of accounts. I passed some of them, I lost some of them, and then I focused on risk reward when it comes to challenge fee versus payout. So one of the platforms I trade with, don't really want to promote them anymore. One of them that I trade with, I spent around $10,000 in challenge fees, which can be a lot of money, but my overall payouts were around 85K during 8 months of trading. So that's a very good risk reward, like a 1 to 8. So even if I lose the funded account, I can still buy a lot more challenges to get the funded account back and throw it in the 1% per 2 weeks payout. And then basically that's the secret that got me banned on a lot of platforms, and that's the secret I used to make a lot of money from this platform. So that is how you gain capital. And then of course, next step is to build your own track record with, let's say 5K or 10K of your own personal money. Build a track record, 3 to 5% profit every single month for 6 months, 12 months, and then use that to attract external investment. That's the point I'm currently sitting in. I'm around $4 million in funded capital right now. I am gonna try to make some more profits and use that to invest, to maybe get to 5-6 million, but now it's very hard to find trustworthy firms because I'm already funded with the top ones. So yeah guys, I hope this video has been helpful in your journey. I hope it helps you gain a funded account or start building your portfolio as a trader. It's very important to treat trading as a business and not think of it as a get rich quick or only hope. Just think of it as a business. Every business has expenses, every business has losses. But as long as you're winning, as long as you're profitable over the long term, that's what trading really is. And then you can start investing more into yourself, other businesses, gaining more capital, and so on. So if you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. Join tradingnfx.com if you want to learn how to trade, and also don't forget to join the free Telegram group. I'll see you guys in the next video.